Hey folks, what's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I am back in Total War Warhammer 2. This time, bringing you something new in the upcoming Warden and Paunch DLC. There's actually going to be some free updates made for everybody who owns the game, and one of those updates is going to be a rework of the Greenskin faction. And there are kind of two main points that they've done some reworking on, and these two things are the Waagh function within the Greenskin faction, which we're familiar with the old way it worked, and then there is a new mechanic called scrap. So that's right, these are two. So Waagh has been reworked, and scrap is entirely new, and I'm going to go ahead and explain both of those to you right now, let you know what's new and how you can take advantage of it. Alright, so I'm here as Grimgor's Ardboys in campaign, and we have taken the Pillars of Grungni. And, I mean, are you surprised? Grimgor is the biggest and the best. And so, the boys have taken over the management of the Pillars of Grungni from the stinking stunties. Now, as part of taking over management, as you can see here, let's look at our scrap tooltip. The Greenskins can earn scrap from Waagh success, fighting battles. And you can see here that I picked up 22 scrap from a recent battle. You can get it from technology, you can get it from missions, raiding, raising settlements, and you can use it on technology, cauldron firewood, which is something for Grom that'll get talked about more next week, and then unit upgrades, which is really what I'm going to talk about now. So once you pick up enough scrap, you can use it to upgrade a unit. I'll give you an example. If I take this Black Orc here, which starts in Grimgor's campaign, there's now a new option when you click on it. There's the disband, merge, and rename that's always been there, but now we have our new scrap upgrade option here with this upward pointed chevron. You can click on it, and it shows you all of the different upgrades that you can give to a unit, and then over here on the right hand side, what cost of scrap that will take. So you can plan out which units you want to upgrade and what upgrade you want for them. Now, important to note, each unit can only have one upgrade active, so you really want to plan this and think through it. As an example, for this particular Black Orc, I have given it the Immortal's Armor upgrade, which cost me 80 scrap, but it added 25 armor and the ability to cause fear. There are other weapons upgrades, like a bonus versus infantry, plus 10 here. Larger weapons, bonus versus large, out of a Black Orc. That's an interesting combination. This allows you to customize the units in your army, or customize a whole army's worth of units, depending on how you want to play the game. And this is really cool because, of course, as is usual with the Greenskins, like when you go to earn money, you make the most money by being out fighting, you get the most scrap by being out fighting and raising settlements, so it encourages that aggressive Greenskin play. So that is going to be how the new scrap system works. You can unlock scrap upgrades in the technology tree, but you can see that each unit type has a couple of available upgrades. Like I'll use this nasty skulker as an example. I can choose to give it a bonus versus infantry, which is pretty awesome, or I can give it these water flasks, which give it perfect vigor, meaning it will never tire out during battle and will continue to fight at the same level throughout the entire battle, regardless of how long it's been fighting or running or anything else. So that's pretty cool. All of these units, like I said, can be upgraded. I'll show you there is a new tech tree for the Greenskins, and you can unlock the scrap upgrades using these special tech right here. So like for instance, if I do this one, it unlocks it for goblins, goblin archers, pump wagons, nasty skulkers. So that's how I would enable those scrap upgrades, and it costs scrap itself. So you'll want to be out earning scrap as often as you're giving the opportunity. This is going to be a way that you can make your Greenskin army extremely dangerous. Like, look at this, heavy ammo, 500% armor-piercing missile damage. Yikes. You know, there's a lot of things here. Extra ammunition, 45%. So we could just take a look, for instance, at the armor-piercing. There's only one armor-piercing damage, so you'd only end up at 5. But it gives you an example of some of the upgrades. Going from 1 to 5 is still a pretty big upgrade for a goblin archer, or getting all that extra ammunition. So there you go, that's the scrap system in a nutshell. Now let's talk about the Waagh. Okay, as far as the Waagh system, Waagh is now a global resource, and it has different levels. You can see it up here at the top. There's this bottom FIDA, which is the 0 to 25, and you actually suffer a lot of growth, obedience, leadership, and recruitment cost penalties when you're there. And then it starts stepping up. Straggler at 26 to 50, Mobsta at 51 to 75, and Waagh at 76 to 100. And when it hits 100, it triggers this call to Waagh. When you make a call to Waagh, you select a target, and I will show you an example of where I have done that. And I'm going to choose Karaz as my target, and depending on the strength of that faction, it puts up a Waagh trophy as a potential reward, and it will display that trophy here if you have won one. I'm going to load up a different save and show you all what that looks like. Yes, so here we are in a save where I've just filled up the global Waagh meter here. And I'm going to click on it, and you get to pick a target. Well, I mean, I wouldn't really be Grimgor if I wasn't going to declare a Waagh into Stunties. So we're going to pick Karaz Karak. You can see that it's got a tooltip here. It shows you its strength rank, and the strength rank is tied to how awesome the trophy it is whenever you complete the Waagh. Now notice I say whenever you complete it. I'm not even entertaining the idea that you might fail, because you don't. Now you get to dedicate it to Mork or Gork. One focuses more on missile attacks, one focuses on melee. I think we all know the boys like to get into a scrap, so we picked the melee. And now you can see the Waagh meter there is full. I get 20 turns of Waagh, and Waagh units start spawning in to each Lord's army and your faction. Now I only have one army right now, and it's Grimgor. And you can see here there's a separate tab for the Waagh troops, and they're marked with the little Waagh symbol there. And you can either choose to control those yourself in battle, or you can let the AI control those in battle. So now you don't have to worry about your Waagh going off and raiding and getting itself killed in a weird battle. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you complete a Waagh. So here's that when it happens.
Well done, my lord. You have successfully completed your Waagh and claimed your trophy. Not only do rival war bosses gaze upon it with envy, but it will also boost the tribe until you claim.
And there's our trophy for this particular Waagh based on the strength. So you get a different trophy depending on the Waagh, depending on the strength of your enemy. So hopefully this makes sense to you all now, how this new Waagh mechanic works on the campaign map. Now one aspect of the Waagh we haven't covered is how it functions on the battle map, which has changed. Let's go take a look. This is from the very first battle in the Grimgor campaign. I'm not allowed to show you all the new units. You can see I am mousing over the Waagh points here, and you can see you do not get Waagh points from ranged attacks, because that's not how the boys like to crump gets, okay? You have to get in melee. And so you can see my armies moving into melee, and once you get into melee and you've built up enough points, then the Waagh ability becomes available over on the right-hand side as an army ability. So let's watch that fill up here. I'll just kind of give you all an example in this battle. I'm not going to commentate the whole thing because it's unnecessary. I'll just let you watch and see how it fills up, and then when I'm able to use it. Do bear in mind that you can still have multiple Waagh uses during a battle, but I do believe it starts to take more and more points as you get to the second, third, and so on. So as the melee begins, watch the bar fill up, and you all get a taste for it here. Alright, so there you can see we hit the first Waagh, and now the second one's building, and it will go like this, so on and so on. Obviously this battle is probably going to end, for the most part at least. I'll have to be chasing some stragglers, but it's all about getting into melee. This is going to be interesting when we start talking about multiplayer. You may have to start bringing expendable units to get a little bit of melee going, or try and do some melee with light cavalry or other cheap things to try and build up the Waagh for your main troops. I'm going to be really curious to see how this plays, as expendable troops may start to have a whole lot more value for the greenskins just in order to get this Waagh meter filled up in a timely fashion. So I'm really curious to see how this plays into multiplayer. In campaign, it seems pretty straightforward. I mean, you're usually duking it out with your enemies as it is. But yeah, greenskins don't sit back and missile fight. They like to get involved in melee and get a scrap going, and that's exactly what you can see here. In fact, I've almost built back up to the second Waagh, just to kind of give you all an example of how it's working. So yeah, really excited for this. This is a great new mechanic. Just one other thing while this is playing out, they did add new settlements to the Badlands. I can't find that exact list of settlements at the moment. I think I've seen it somewhere, but I've been looking, haven't been able to find it at the moment. But yes, they have added more settlements to the Badlands to make it just an overall improved experience in Mortal Empires for the greenskins and the other factions in that area. So there's a lot of rework, folks. They've given the old world a lot of new fun and capability here. The greenskins are going to be absolutely terrifying in campaign, which is kind of cool because I think that's probably where they should be. These giant hordes of troops that just leave you scared stupid every time they invade. So yeah, hopefully this gave you a good rundown of what to expect with the new features in the Greenskin rework. I'm excited as you all are. May 21st, when all this comes out, you'll be able to jump in and get a Waagh going with your favorite greenskin faction. Also, remember that Azag has his own starting position, and we'll go take a look at that real quick as well. So here we are, you filthy gits. Back here looking at the Bone Rattlers. That's right, this is Azag's new faction with its own unique starting position. You can see here what it is he's set up for. He starts in the Northern World's Edge Mountains. This is going to put him in direct contention with a lot of greenskins and Empire factions over here in Ostermark early on, with potentially early fights with the vampires, and then later fights with Norska, Kislev, and others. So a really cool start position here for Azag. Let's load into the campaign and take a look at who he starts at war with and what a settlement looks like.
Hail to you, slaughterer. Your mysterious iron hat has compelled you to march out from Troll Country into the mountains in search of richer lands to despoil. The local goblins have been lax, allowing the feeble men of Ostermark to secure a foothold here. Drive them out, and their remaining lowland provinces will be yours for the taking, as will all the realms of men. The nearby vampires surely sense the power of your crown and could be open to an alliance, though such an arrangement goes against your baser instincts. Overrun their lands, if you prefer. To the south, the remnants of the Red-Eye tribe currently harass the Slayer King. Such a formidable and proximate Dowie should be watched, for he may soon become your problem too. The time of men and dwarfs is over, Azag. The crown whispers desires of death and destruction, and you will oblige.
Well, there you go. You got the quick intro, thanks to Mr. the Crow from the Chaos Waste. But yeah, here's Azag's start position and the troops that he starts with. You can see here he's got a big Waagh caster that starts behind him, and a nice little settlement here in the mountains from Ostermark that should be relatively easy to take. Karak Ungor is your start position. This is going to be a very strong start position because of gold being present, and you're going to be able to take advantage of a very precious resource right from the beginning, which should help you funnel up a bunch of troops. But then obviously you're going to have your work cut out for you. You got to get rid of some other gits who want to be pretenders here. You got to deal with Ungram, and as they pointed out, the vampires to your south. But anyway, that's Azag's start position. Hopefully this gives you all a good rundown of all of the changes that are upcoming for the Greenskin rework. Again, May 21st when all this releases. Even if you don't buy the DLC, all of these will be added for those who already own this content. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me know if you have any questions down in the chat, and I will see you soon with some more Total War Warhammer 2 content, and we'll check out more Warden and Paunch just as soon as we can.